Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday morning yoga. And today I've had a special request from my students for a slightly more restorative class because the weather has turned, it's a little bit dark and dim, and this is the time of the year to feel comfortable and cozy. So today I have some equipment to hand. I've got a little cushion, 2 bricks, and a bolster. And if you don't have these items to hand, it's probably a good idea to grab them. We're also going to, you can use different things instead of a bolster, but I will leave you with that to find out for yourselves. There's information in the description of the video. So here we're going to start just sitting in any comfortable position. By now, I hope that you know the comfortable positions you can choose. We want to find our way to organize our spines into this upright, lifted, open, lengthened position without any force. And then resting the hands wherever they're comfortable, palms up or down, closing your eyes or gazing gently downward. And just taking a moment to find a touch of stillness. To sense the parts of the body that are supporting from the ground upwards, where we can feel our connection down. Take this moment to step away from everything else going on around you, carving out this time and space for yoga. And then taking note of how your body feels in this moment. Any physical sensations, perhaps of stiffness or tension. They tend to be the most focal. Anywhere you feel any kind of discomfort in the body, working gently as you practice today. Noticing at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, spacious, and at ease. Noticing your breath in this moment. The gentle movement of the body as the breath ebbs and flows. Whenever you're ready, you can gently deepen your breath. Encourage a deeper breath in by expanding the breath through the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. As you softly, slowly release the breath, feel the tension draining out of your body. Find a long, deep breath into the sides of the body, the back and the chest. And a slow, gentle exhalation, softening the features of the face again. Taking a few more of these long, deep breaths in and out. Feeling like you're encouraging a supply of prana, energy for our class ahead. At the end of your next exhalation, just gently bringing your chin towards your chest, allow your breath to fall into its natural rhythm. And from this chin to chest position, rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder, and then chin to chest, and then left ear to left shoulder, and chin to chest. You can go side to side, maybe exploring just a little bit more movement with each repetition as space becomes available in the body. So without force, and noticing those sensations of connection between the movements of the neck the shoulders and back, the jaw, the face. If you wish to, you can roll your head in complete circles, focusing on lifting the chin between one shoulder and the other rather than taking the back of the head too far back. Just doing what feels right for your body in this moment. And when you're ready, you can go in the opposite direction. Trying not to go too quickly, but at the same time, this is our limbering phase, so we don't want to go too slowly either. Next time your chin is on your chest, gently smile and then raise your head. And if your eyes have been closed, you might like to keep them closed. You might like to open them. I'm going to roll the shoulders a few times. And we can go in the opposite direction as well. And then we're going to use our arms to do a little bit more movement through the spine. So drawing the palms towards each other in front of the body, rounding the chin towards the chest, reaching the fingertips forward. And then sitting tall as you open your arms wide, lift your chest, maybe take the arms slightly behind the body, maybe turn the palms up towards the ceiling as you inhale. Exhaling, palms of the hands or in backs of the hands if you prefer, if that feels more natural, reaching forward. And inhaling as you draw the arms wide and lifting the chest, maybe looking up, palms up. Rounding through the spine as the arms come forward. Inhaling to sit tall, lifting through the front of the body. Let's do one more. Rounding through the spine. And inhaling to sit tall, lifting the chest, turning the palms, and then floating as you exhale the arms down to the side, giving the shoulders a little roll. Maybe rolling one shoulder and then the other, a little seated dancing shoulder going on. Very nice. And I've got my left leg in front of my right. Just make note which way round you are because we're going to do both. And we'll take the hands onto wherever is comfortable and circle the body. So allow the head to circle around the base of the spine. And it's useful here to allow your chin to follow that movement so that the neck is not rigid. The chin is slightly towards the chest as you come forward. Chin slightly lifted as you go back. You can even use your eyes if you've got your eyes open to do the same. We're going to go in the opposite direction as well. Just first starting with these quite gentle and relatively gentle movements. Don't worry, we're going to get a little bit more vigorous as well. Let's do one more in this direction. And then we're going to come back to center, spend a moment just dropping back into the base of the body, the shoulders relaxed and finding some stillness. We're going to do the practice again, legs the same way round, so no need to change, but this time we're going to allow more of the body to move. So we'll perhaps lead with the opposite shoulder towards, so here, right shoulder towards left knee, no, left shoulder towards right knee, and then sweeping the chest forward and round, using the hands on the knees to provide a break, if you like, or a stop to prevent you from going too far backwards. But really getting a lovely twisting through the torso, particularly using the arms to help, using a little lift through the belly muscles, and making sure your neck is not rigid, that your head is moving as well. When you're ready, you can go in the opposite direction. Just giving yourself that little support from the arms. Maybe finding a touch of a smile on your face because it's quite a joyful movement. And we'll do just one more in this direction. Finishing as we come up to an upright position, and again, just dropping into that stillness. We'll take the arms nice and wide. We're going to gently lean over to the right and then lean over to the left. So it doesn't matter what your lean looks like. You can start really subtle and small, just build into that space. And if you wish to explore a little further with each lean, that's fine. And as you explore a little further, if you feel inclined to lift the hip that you're moving away from, just allow that to happen. But try not to lift perhaps too far. We don't want to anchor in a rigid way. We do want the body to move with us if it needs to. We're trying to explore that sense of length. We'll do one more to each side before we do some holding. And then as we come over to the right side this time, allowing the right shoulder to soften, the elbow to soften, reaching the left arm over, gently pulsing to that left side, and then rolling the left shoulder back to open the chest, and then rolling the left shoulder forward to look down towards the floor. Firm in the belly as you roll open, and then roll forward. Let's do one more in each direction. Opening, rolling forward, and as you roll forward, take your arm across the body so you've got one hand on either side of your knees. Roll your shoulder blades towards each other, opening and lifting the chest. You want to be quite high up for this gentle sway from side to side. And then if it feels good, so if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. But if it feels good, you can lengthen yourself a little further forward. You can even reach your fingertips further forward and draw yourself out of the base of the spine, lifting in the belly muscles and just seeing if there's a little bit more space. And it's fine to be up here and doing this. We want to try to keep the back lengthened as we come forward, so avoiding lifting and hunching and rounding through the upper back. Much better to do it higher up and do it well than to do it lower down and be cheating. Satya is truthfulness, and in yoga, it's one of the 10 principles of yoga, one of the yamas and niyamas, and truthfulness in our practice is quite important. So whenever you're ready, just patting your hands back towards you. We're going to separate the feet so that we've got the feet either side, and then lengthen the legs away from us, leaning back onto our hands and just rolling the ankles, pivoting on the heels so the knees can roll in and out as well, nice and soft across the legs. So we're just giving the legs a little bit of a rest here. Going to go the opposite way as well. And we are going to do our first, what I would call demanding-ish practice. So we're going to do a little reverse tabletop. Doesn't matter which way around your hands are, so just put them wherever they naturally go to. What we want to do is get the shoulder blades slightly towards each other, place the feet on the floor. So we've got this sense of pressing the fingertips down. We're already creating strength through the back of the body, lifting in the belly muscles, and then taking the weight into the feet and just lifting the hips up to wherever feels comfortable. And then you can gently release down. And we'll do that 2 more times. Different people lift in different areas. So I find my hamstrings do most of the work. I have to really concentrate to switch on my buttocks. And so if that's the case for you, also thinking about squeezing the buttocks to lift the hips up, and then we're gently lowering down. And then we're taking our weight off our wrists and we're coming back to sitting cross-legged, but with the opposite foot in front. We might roll the wrists here with long fingers, if that feels good to you. And then maybe with the thumbs into the palms and with soft fists rolling in both directions. And now I'm a little bit warmer. I'm going to take my lurid orange top off. I've been channeling all things autumn and pumpkins, and so I've been enjoying wearing my orange jumper that only comes out at this time of year. Okay, oh, sorry. I've created some joy. Joy is the energy of the season when our energy is balanced. So it's a really nice joy and enthusiasm, really part of autumn. We're going to sit tall again, just find a moment of stillness. And then when you're ready, we'll do little circling of the body. So notice if it feels less comfortable on this side, a little bit more awkward. And if you have any tension here, we want to try to work at a place that doesn't allow too much of that tension to be exacerbated. So maybe smaller movements if that's the case for you. Allowing your head to follow the movement. Little lift of the chin and lower of the chin as you go round. We'll do 2 more in this direction. And these are simple turns first. We're going in the opposite direction. We're not really involving the rest of the body. It's just the spine and perhaps the feelings that we get, slight massaging across the buttocks. Just giving ourselves the opportunity to allow the neck to be part of the movement of the rest of the spine. Let's do 1 more in this direction. And when you're ready, coming back to center, and then knowing that you can involve the rest of the body, place the hands where they can be really helpful and firm. We're taking the right shoulder to the left knee to begin with. So we're bringing that across the body, and then we're going to sweep the chest forward and bring the left shoulder towards the right knee, and then lift the chest. Use the arms as a little break so you don't go too far back, and then coming forward again. So we want to have that back movement as much as that forward movement. Forward seems easier, mostly because when we're sitting, we're already in a little bit of a forward bending position, certainly with the pelvis. And allowing your head to move as your spine moves, getting that real sense of spiraling swell. We'll do 1 more in this direction. And then gently changing direction. You can always take an extra moment of stillness if that feels good to you. Maybe finding some of that inner joy. What we do here is we kind of stir. We're using an energetic centrifugal force to stir our energy into the center of our energetic body, which is Sushumna Nadi, which is in the real vicinity of the spine, but it isn't the spine, if that makes sense, the center of the body. When you're ready, you can come back to center. Just relaxing some of that effort. Maybe rolling the shoulders. Maybe seeing if you feel a little bit taller, a little bit lighter, which could be very nice. And then from here, we're going to do a little more twisting, if that makes sense. So we're going to raise the arms up. On the previous side, we did sort of backwards and forwards. We're going to raise the arms up and then take the hands down on the right side of the body. Doesn't matter what they touch, the floor or the body, and then raise the arms up and take them down on the left side of the body. So we want to do this with the belly muscles nice and engaged as we go from side to side. And if you like, you can also look up gently as your arms go up and look down and around the body as your arms go down. So again, allowing your neck to move as part of the spinal movement. We'll do 1 more to each side, raising the arms and turning to the right. Raising the arms and turning to the left. Raising your arms and coming back to center, floating the arms down. We're going to reach over to the left. and then back to center and over to the right, just going from side to side. It might feel different from how it did when we had the legs the opposite way round, which is often the case. We get the movement of the dominant hip is more dominant, if that makes sense. So we're just exploring a little bit of space, but we don't need to maybe explore too far because we've opened quite a lot of spaces. Let's just do one more to each side, and we'll finish by holding on the left. And as we come to holding on the left, softening the left shoulder and elbow, reaching the right fingertips over, just feeling a little buoyancy there. And then when you're ready, rolling the right shoulder back to open towards the ceiling, and rolling the right side forward to look down towards the floor. So we're just making this spiral motion through the side of the body. It's a really, really lovely way to release tension from particularly the thoracic spine, but also across the sacroiliac joint as well. When you're ready, you can bring your right hand to the floor, just pat the hands back to the center. Take the hands nice and wide, wider than the knees. Roll your shoulder blades towards each other. Lift in your belly. Look slightly forward. The shoulders aren't hunched up here. The shoulder blades are glided down the back. And then we have a little gentle sway from side to side. And you can try this with the shoulders lifted as well. So if you want to come to center and let your shoulders hunch up and sway from side to side, and just see if it feels better doing that. So it might feel differently, but for me, I don't get anything like the amount of movement that I do if my shoulders are down. So it demonstrates the need for that position if that's the case for you. When you're ready, you can come to center, and if you want to, you can lift the chest a little bit more. Walk the fingertips forward to pull yourself forward, easing out of the base of the spine into this lengthened position before folding to wherever feels comfortable for you. And you can be quite high up and still get a lot out of this posture if that is where your body is open to at the moment. So don't make your shape the same as anyone else's. Make your shape the perfect one for your body. Little lift in the belly also helps here. When you're ready, you can walk your hands back towards you, and we're just going to free the feet and the legs, just taking them, a little extension into the heels resting onto the floor. We're leaning back onto our hands and just making some ankle circles. So even if you're used to sitting cross-legged for a long time, it can be quite hard to do all of those movements. The legs are really stabilizing. We don't realize the effort that they're making. We can go in the opposite direction as well. And if, like me, you've done tons and tons of yoga over the last week, my body's feeling really tired, then it might just be that your legs are a little bit tired. So here we're going to do that reverse tabletop position again. We're placing the feet onto the floor. Hands can be facing in any direction you choose. Roll the shoulder blades towards each other. Get that sense of open and lift with the chest, and then pressing into the feet to lift the hips up, squeezing through the buttocks as well if that's comfortable, and then gently releasing down. And we'll do two more. Lifting up, finding that space underneath the back of the body, and then gently down. And then one more time, lifting up, holding briefly, and releasing down. Very good. Taking the weight off the wrists, and we're going to come onto hands and knees now. So it doesn't matter how you get there. You can get there any which way you choose. Or maybe, sorry, I said hands and knees. We're just going to release the wrists a moment first. So rolling through the wrists to prepare. Opposite way as well. You can do as many of these as you like for as long as you like to prepare to come onto hands and knees. So here we're taking the feet relatively comfortable distance apart, pressing into the hands to create lift underneath the body and scooping the belly in, and then just a gentle cat-cow. So it feels differently to do movements with the spine when the body is in different positions. So it feels differently when we're in this position versus when we sit on the floor or when we stand. And just going slowly from one to the other. You can coordinate your breath if you'd like to. You can press your feet into the floor if you'd like to. You can focus on the gliding of the shoulder blades up and down the back. You can focus on the fingertips and thumb tips. When you're ready, coming back to center, and we're in the center, we're going to move our shoulders around our wrists. So a little softness across the elbows, so you're using the muscles of the arms, and then just circling the chest or the shoulders around the wrists. We're going to circle in one direction and then gently change direction. And we're not trying to go very far necessarily. We're just moving. The energy of autumn is movement for sure. One more in this direction. And then coming back to the center, we're going to create a little bit more space between the knees and the wrists, maybe another hand's width or so. And then take the hips towards the heels. And then we're going to come forward, pressing off the feet to come forward and bring the hips towards the floor as we do a little gentle back bend. Nice and firm across the belly, soft across the elbows, firm across the shoulders, and the buttocks working too, and then rounding the opposite way. So a little gentle hips towards heels, pressing off the feet to round forward, like a waving vinyasa, but just a little bit more of a gentle version. Gliding the shoulder blades towards each other, nice and firm across the belly and the buttocks. Keeping those fingertips nice and firm as well, so we really distribute the weight through these softened elbows to create a little bit of power with the arms. Let's do one more, and as we come forward, we're going to also come down towards the mat. So we'll come into this lovely back bend, and then from there, lower to place the hands underneath the forehead on the back of the hands, turning the toes towards each other, heels apart, and just give the hips a little bit of a wiggle if that feels good. Or you might simply rest here, softening the effort from the shoulders, the chest, the hands, the center of the body, and spend a few moments in stillness. Maybe sighing out through the mouth. And then we're going to keep the head heavy onto the back of the hands and keep the upper body feeling heavy as well. And bring the thighs towards each other. Pressing down with the right foot, we're going to lift the left leg up, really engaging the back of the leg and the buttock and the low back. We want to firm the belly muscles as we're holding this leg up and gently lower down. We're going to do the same leg. So left leg lifts up, engaging through the back of the body, and then releases down. The upper body really heavy and stable. Firm belly and buttocks, left leg reaches up, right foot is pressing down, and gently release. Now we're going to bend the left knee, so the foot is as if it was standing on the ceiling, flexed gently through the heel, and do the same thing again. Right leg provides stability, firm belly and buttocks, lifting the left heel up. Maybe the left knee comes off the floor as well, and then lowering down. The knee stays bent, lifting the left leg up, heel pressed towards the ceiling, and gently lowering down. And then one more time, lifting the left leg up, really switching on that power behind the body, and lowering down. We're going to relax the left leg down to the floor, separate the feet, let the heels turn outwards, the toes turn inwards, they don't have to touch, and then gently give the hips a little wiggle. See if you can release any effort that is residual in the low back area. We're moving now to the right side to do exactly the same thing. So bringing the thighs together to begin with, thinking about creating a little bit of lift in the belly muscles and heaviness in the upper body, lifting the right leg up to wherever it naturally goes to, press the left foot into the floor, and then slowly, gently lower. The legs are quite close together. Lifting the right leg up, switching on that buttock, feeling the effort in the back of the leg, and then gently lowering down. Let's do one more like that. Lifting the right leg up, really pressing the left side down, soft and disengaged in the upper body, lowering the right leg down. We bend the right knee so that the right foot is as if it was standing on the ceiling, flexed through the heel. Doesn't have to be super flexed, just flexed-ish. And then same thing again, press down with the left side, firm belly and buttocks, lifting the right heel up. Maybe the knee comes off the floor as well, and then lowering gently down. Trying to keep the left pelvis on the floor if you can. So lifting the right leg up, firm belly and buttocks, and lowering down. Nice and heavy in the upper body. If it begins to get light, you probably try to lift too far. One more time, lifting the right leg up, and then gently lowering down. We're going to relax the legs down. Take the toes towards each other, heels apart, and give a little bit of a wiggle to the back of the body. Now here, it's really nice to take a rest from this practice by doing some downward dog. We're just doing some gentle down dog. So coming onto the hands and knees, you can even take your buttocks back towards your heels if you like, and then coming onto our hands and feet for downward dog, and just make it a nice soft dog. So a little soft, gentle pulsing of the chest back towards the thighs, maybe gently looking under one leg and then the other, maybe easing one heel to the floor and then the other, doing movements that feel good to you in this posture. If you wish to, you can bring both heels off the floor, soften the knees and wiggle the hips from side to side. It's a really nice way to release effort from the back of the body. I must admit, I really enjoy this one. Also turning the head from side to side and letting the shoulders undulate if you would like to, strong in your fingertips though. When you're ready, you can bring your knees back down to the mat. Just reach the hands a little bit further forward, hips to heels, and then with a waving vinyasa, pressing off the feet, rounding the spine forward. As the shoulders come over the arms, we're going to open the chest, glide the shoulder blades down, and then we're going to find our way down to the mat, releasing the head to the back of the hands, and toes turned inwards, heels turned outwards. Give yourself another little wiggle. So we're coming back to this position as we did before, but we're going to do this with the legs slightly apart instead of together. So if you take your legs a reasonable distance apart, so as far apart as feels comfortable, doesn't have to be super wide, certainly inside mat width apart. We're going to allow the upper body to be heavy again, firm in the belly and the buttocks, press down with the right foot, just gently, so you're engaging, stabilizing with that side of the body. And then with a long, straight left leg, lifting your leg, which will be diagonally out to the left side of your body, and then gently lower down again. So we're doing that 2 more times. Nice and firm in belly and buttocks, lift a long, straight left leg up, and lower a long, straight left leg down. One more time, stabilizing with the right side, heavy in the upper body, lifting and lowering. As we lower, we're going to bend the left knee and again flex the foot so that the knee is flexed, the foot is flexed at the ankle, firm on that right side, firm through the center, heavy in the upper body, lift the left leg up and gently down. So we're aiming to press the heel towards the ceiling. 2 more times, gently lift and gently lower. Very good. This time, maybe see if you can just punch that heel a little bit further up, stamp that heel even a little bit further up, and then releasing all the way down. Release your legs long, so both legs are long. Give the hips a little wiggle from side to side. And we'll do the same thing on the right. Upper body heavy, pressing the top of the left foot down, lengthen the right leg, firm in the belly and the buttocks. The long leg lifts off the floor slightly diagonally out to the right, and then lowers gently down. Same thing again, lifting and lowering. We're trying to train the body to switch on those areas of support. So the left side, the belly, the buttocks, lift a long straight right leg and lower. And then bending the right knee, flexing the right heel. Same thing again, stabilizing with the left side, lift to wherever feels comfortable and lower. It might feel that you go higher or even less high, who knows? Lift and lower. Firm through center, one more time. Lift and lower. And just straighten the right leg. Just bring the feet towards each other, toes turned in, heels turned out. Give a little wiggle from side to side. Maybe a couple of deep breaths, sighing out through the mouth. Whenever you're ready, you can take the hands underneath the chest, move through hands and knees, maybe dropping the hips towards the heels, spreading the fingers, and then coming into downward facing dog. And in your downward facing dog, giving those undulations, so a little paddling of the shoulders and the heels, maybe a turning of the head from side to side, still lifting in the belly, still strong in the fingertips, still thinking about tipping your tailbone up towards the ceiling. And then whenever you're ready, you can bring your knees down to the mat. And we're going to let's start with the knees down on the left side. Please excuse me. Ooh, it's quite interesting to be upright again after having the head down for so long. So give yourself an opportunity to arrive in this more upright position. Wriggle anything that needs wriggling. If you feel comfortable, you can sit in this deer pose. So with the right knee in front of the right hip and the shin across the body towards the left, and then the left knee out from the left hip with the shin back behind the body, or out to the side of the body there. If that feels comfortable, that's great. So if I'm in my exact sometimes called 90-90 pose, then I feel just slightly tilted to the side. But if I bring my left knee slightly forward, feels a little bit more comfortable. And if I bring my right heel into the body, feels even more comfortable still. So find wherever feels like the right place for you to practice. Doesn't matter as long as you feel secure and able to lift. And here we're just gently going to twist. So we're going to twist first towards the left foot, maybe even reaching the left hand back to the left foot or to the floor, right hand across the body, and just feeling that gentle sense of length as we open the chest to the left. And then we're going to unwind and twist to the right. And here we take the left hand to the right thigh or knee and use it to twist ourselves to that right side. So you might even get a little sense of pressing into the left buttock, lifting into the belly, turning your head as far to the right as feels comfortable, and then unwinding back to center again. And don't be worried if it feels awkward, that's completely normal. We're going to move now from one position to another. The first position will be with our cactus arms. And we're going to twist to the left. And then as we unwind, we're going to take the right hand down by the right hip, as close to the body as feels supportive. And then we're going to reach the left arm across the body, come up onto the calves or the shins, and reach that left arm all around the body in a circle till we sit the hips back down again and we can find our cactus arms. If this doesn't feel comfortable doing this with both legs bent, you can try this with your left leg extended. And in fact, let's do that variation all together now so you can see which one feels like the best one for you. So here the legs are more in a Janu Shirshasana type of position, but we want to keep maybe the right foot slightly away from the left thigh. We'll come into our cactus arms, trying to sit nice and tall. We twist to the left first, and it's quite a hard twist to do in that it's challenging because we don't go very far before we meet resistance. But we're twisting into that side of the body and then unwinding right hand to the outside of the right thigh, lifting now onto the left foot and the right shin, and then letting the left arm circle the body before coming back to sitting. So either one of these is good. We should probably do 3 of each. So let's do 2 more with the legs long and 2 more with the legs bent. But if you prefer one of those than the other, you can do that. So coming into sitting upright, cactus arms, revolve towards your long, straight left leg, unwind, right hand towards the right hip, onto the floor, lift the hips and move the left arm around the body. Come back to center, revolving to the left, unwinding, right hand down. It looks fantastic, those practicing on the screen, reaching the left arm around the body and bringing the hips down. And now bending the left knee if it feels comfortable to do that. If not, just leave the leg extended. And cactus arms, revolving to the left, unwinding, placing the right hand down, lifting onto the shins and moving the left arm around the body. And we'll do 1 more of these. Sitting tall, revolving towards the knees to the left, and then coming up into this baby wild thing and releasing down. Very good. And then here we're going to take the opportunity, sorry, I've got clothing going all over the place, take the opportunity to do a little forward fold as well. So we've done some twisting, we've done some back bending, we're going to do some forward folding. We've done some side opening as well. So again, if it's more comfortable, you can extend that left leg out to the left. But if you're able to, try to do it with the knees bent if you can. We're going to start by opening the chest, and then we're just gently folding forward over this front knee, the right knee, which is bent, and we're reaching the hands to wherever feels comfortable. Now, if you feel comfortable higher up and you've got 2 blocks to hand, you can use your hands on the blocks. If you're comfortable coming a little bit lower, then see where you get to naturally. This feels like a really comfortable place for me. I can begin to feel that stretch around the right hip that feels nice to do. And I might sway my chest from side to side here. You can try the same at home. And as you move, you get different sensations across the hips. And if you feel that you're creating a little bit of space, you can see if it feels comfortable to come down a little bit lower. And you might, again, sway from side to side, or you might just rest for a few deep breaths. And then see how far into the pose you feel comfortable to go. Can you make a pillow out of your hands and rest your head down? Do you like to rest a little bit higher up, maybe with the forearms on the floor? Wherever you get to, just take a couple of deep breaths. When you're ready, you can gently bring yourself into a more upright position. Fantastic stuff. So we want to go from one side to the other, but we might want to wave our knees from one side to the other. So if possible, just articulating or rolling around on your buttocks, waving the knees from one side to the other. But if that isn't possible, lean back slightly on your hands and do the same thing. So it's the same thing, but you've got a little bit of support from the hands and a little bit of space between the torso and the thighs, which makes the ability to move, the room for movement much more available. So it doesn't matter which one you do. If you need to do a little bit of holding, but you can do it mostly sitting upright, then that's fine too. If you want to do this with some fancy arms over your head, you can do that too. I tend to shunt around on the mat as I do it. So if that's the case, if you find yourself butt crawling across the floor, And bring yourself back to your mat when you're done. So whenever you're ready, you can bring yourself into a position with the left knee in front of the left hip and the right knee out to the right side. Shins wherever's comfortable. Remember, if it's difficult to sit upright, if it's too challenging, if you find that you need to lean, then just bring the knees a little bit closer together, the feet a little bit closer to the body. It is actually okay to lean on the hand as well if you wish to, but I don't think anyone in this class needs that additional support. So here we're going to do those twists to begin. So we want to twist first towards our legs. We're sitting tall and twisting to the right. We might even use the hands to move ourselves around, to draw around to that right side without force, just using a touch of support. And then we're unwinding and we're going to the opposite side and we're going to use the right hand on the left thigh to gently press ourselves round to that left side, maybe looking round to the left. A little lean here is okay, not too much off center, just a touch, lifting in the belly, maybe drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, keeping the upper back strong and stable, holding as you breathe. And then gently releasing back to center. In yoga, all of the big twists are named after the yogic sages from ancient days of yore. But I can't remember what that one is called. In children's yoga, we call it mermaid pose, though, and I can remember that just fine. So we're going to now do our little flow. We'll try it with our bent knees first, just as we did on the first side. Bring ourselves into cactus arms, settling the elbows down. We're going to twist towards the legs, so to the right. And then as we untwist the left hand to the outside of the left thigh, hip, coming onto the shins and reaching the right arm all the way around the body. And then the hips settle down just as the arm comes back down. And we can explore how this feels with the right leg extended. So we'll do 3 with the right leg extended and come back to that bent knee position, because that's what we did the other side. So coming into cactus arms, we can twist to the right and then unwind the hand behind the left hip, reaching up now the right foot and the left shin on the floor, and circling the arm to come back to center. If you feel very much more comfortable with both knees bent, please bend both knees for the remainder of the practice. Twisting to the right, unwinding, hands to the floor, reaching the right arm around the body, nice big circle, and then coming back to sitting. Again, twisting to the right. As we unwind, find support from that left side, lifting in the chest, space underneath the body, back of the body, very supportive. And then coming back to sitting. Now bending the knees again, if that feels good to you. We're going to twist to the right, unwind, hands down on the floor, reaching the right arm around the body, opening the chest. Wonderful stuff. Hips come to the floor, and then one last time, twisting, unwinding, hands down, reaching the right arm around the body, and coming back down. And then here, once we've settled ourselves, we might like to just bring ourselves out of that position. So we've got the knees very much in front of the body. If you wish to do a little bit of side to side, you can, if it feels like a really nice way to release the hips, it can be that way. Otherwise, doing a wide-legged seated child's pose. So we're sitting, the feet are apart, but the knees are bent. We can drape ourselves forward and just find a little bit of respite and rest here. It is a wonderful, joyful practice, this opening of the sides of the body, the spiraling nature of that practice. And of course, as I say, joy and enthusiasm are so much part of our autumnal energy. If you think about how we felt kicking through leaves as children, and just wonderful things. Okay, maybe we're kicking through leaves as adults and we didn't get to do it as children. Who knows? Whenever you're ready, coming just into a kneeling position, or sitting in any way that feels comfortable, giving your shoulders a little roll, releasing any tension that you might have um, established during that practice. So we're coming into the yin part of our practice today, and we're going to start with a little side bend. So we've done quite a lot with the sides of the body. Now we're going to rest into that side bending a little bit more. And I'm putting my jumper back on because I find it useful to have that extra layer when practicing a yin. You might even want a blanket close by if you are cold today or if it is cold in your environment, just so that the warmth that you've created through the class isn't lost, all of it lost before relaxation. So just finding yourselves with your bolster on your right-hand side. And we're sitting, you notice that we're sitting with sort of the legs in a very similar position to the one we had before. And I've got my blanket. No, this is not a blanket. This is a cushion. I've got my cushion to hand. And we're going to lie sideways over the bolsters. So we want the bolster to be as close to the body as possible and lie directly sideways over it so that the right side of the rib cage and that space underneath the arm, maybe not the armpit itself, but just a little bit lower, is supported by the bolster. I've got my right arm extended, cushion on top, and I can rest my head there. And then here I can explore what to do with the legs. So it might be really comfy just to leave the legs as they are, all bent like this, or I might extend the left leg and just support it by placing the right foot underneath the knee or the thigh, perhaps just to provide a little bit of, so it's not hanging in space. Here, we want to switch off the effort, so you don't need to hold on to your tummy muscles or your buttocks or anything like that. Don't need to think about the space between your shoulder blades. But if you feel that it would be just a little bit more comfortable and more secure with a touch of effort in those places, then establishing as much as is needed, but as little as possible. And then with our left arms, we can reach the arm anywhere. You might like to just reach the arm over the head. If the two hands come towards each other, you can leave them in that position. If you find that is a little bit too toughy, you can bring the left arm in front of you so that you also reach the floor, but in front of the face, or you can just bring your arm behind you a little bit, the back of the hand towards the body, or in front of you, whatever is good. If you can lengthen the arm over and find a comfortable spot, maybe even resting your upper arm across your left ear, then you might feel that sensation of length and space just a little bit enhanced. Wherever you get to, if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, if you prefer, just gazing at one point with a really soft gaze, maybe the eyelids half closed. Taking a few deep breaths, softening all of the effort that you needed to arrive in this position. Relaxing the features of your face. If you enjoy a Ujjayi breath, you might like a really slow, gentle Ujjayi here. Or you can simply breathe deeply. Feel the space down the left side of the body. Feel the support underneath the right side of the body. Surrender into the floor. At the end of your next exhalation, just preparing to move. We're going to start by bringing the left arm back to the left side. And just guiding your legs in towards the bolster. Whenever you're ready, easing yourself back to upright. You can do it any way that feels comfortable and natural to you. As we come to an upright position, we want to take a resting sort of central balancing pose. And for this, I'm actually going to use my bolster to kneel on so that I feel supported. My legs aren't as bent as they might be kneeling on the floor, but I can find an upright position. Just settle the shoulders down, close the eyes if you feel comfortable. Feel a sense of rebound to center. Feel the difference between the two sides of the body. And notice if you have any challenging emotions arising from yin practice. And perhaps exhibit a little bit of patience with yourself. When you're ready, you can move to the other side. So we're doing exactly the same setup, placing the bolster down as close to the left hip as possible. We've got our legs and knees bent, supportive, so we can sit upright. And then we're going to relax over the bolster. So the left side of the body is completely supported by the bolster itself. And we've got our cushion perhaps underneath the head. You might notice if one side is more comfortable than the other. You don't have to practice in a mirror image. So if it feels more comfortable to keep the legs near the bolster and more supportive on this side, you can. If you wish to, you can extend your right leg out to the right. Maybe move the left leg so that it's supporting underneath the knee or the thigh. You can always use a cushion or a block there if you prefer. And then if that feels good, exploring the position of your arm. Perhaps you want to reach the right arm over to join the left hand, maybe resting the right arm along the outside of the right side of the head, across the ear or something like this. If you prefer, you can reach that hand slightly in front of the body. So you rest the arm just in front of the hands, just in front of the face, perhaps. You could have the arm back turned so the back of the hand comes to the back of the body, which keeps the chest a little bit more open. You might have the hand resting on the bolster in front of you. Wherever you are, just taking a few minutes to arrange yourself into a position you feel that you can hold in stillness. Making only the effort you need to feel that you are stable and secure. Releasing effort from the buttocks, the legs, the belly, the chest as much as possible. Taking some long, slow, deep breaths here. Softening the features of your face. Allowing a gentle ujjayi if you feel comfortable practicing that. Feeling the length and openness down the right side of the body. The support under the left side. At the end of your next exhalation, just preparing to move. Begin by bringing the right arm back towards the right side. Maybe sliding the knees in. And just gently, in your own time, coming to a nice upright position. We're going to, I seem to have lost a tissue. We're going to lie down onto our backs for our rebound on this side. So coming into constructive rest in your own way, just having the knees bent with the feet on the floor, the back of the body able to release downwards, and the arms relaxed far enough away from the body that the shoulders can soften. The upper body feeling really supported here in the back of the head. Taking a few deep breaths. From here, we're going to do a little twist. So if we turn onto our right sides, so that we've got, we might need the cushion underneath the head, but so we've got one hand stacked on top of the other, and we're lying on our sides completely with the knees bent, and then we're going to reach the left arm up and then take it down behind us or in that general direction. So if your left arm doesn't touch the floor here, you can lower your arm towards your hips. Maybe that will help. Or you can place something underneath the left arm so that it is supported. Here, the knees might be stacked or they might be slightly staggered, or you might even have the top knee lifted a little. Doesn't really matter as long as it feels like a comfortable spot. Head supported by the floor or by a pillow, as the case may be, whichever feels more comfortable in this moment. And then we're just closing the eyes or gazing at one spot with the eyes half closed and taking some of those long, deep breaths. Your head can be pointed in any direction, so it doesn't need to be looking to the left. It could be neutral or looking to the right, whatever feels like the right spot. Once you're there, softening all the effort, softening your face. If you wish to use a really subtle, gentle Yogini, doing so here. At the end of your next exhalation, just preparing to return to that right hand side. So a little lift in the belly muscles, gently lifting the left arm over the body to end with the left hand on top of the right. We're going to take the pillow out from underneath the back of the head if it's there and roll back to constructive rest. So lying on your back with your knees bent, back of the head, back of the shoulders, back of the arms, back of the torso, all supported by the floor. Take a moment to feel the difference between the two sides of the body. And then you might like a little gentle lengthen of the legs and a little stretch through the body. Maybe a yawn. before we turn to the opposite side. So we start with the hands one on top of the other in front of the body, the knees bent up, and then keeping the head supported wherever it's comfortable, opening the arm behind the body so you rest your left hand to the floor. I'm going to have to move myself to make a bit of room. And it might be that you turn your head to look at that right hand behind the body, or you may be neutral or looking towards the left. Often we've got one position that feels easier for the neck. So don't feel like you have to balance unless it feels particularly useful to do so. You might have the knees completely stacked, slightly staggered, or one knee lifted, or the top knee lifted slightly away. As long as your hips feel secure, it doesn't matter. When you're ready, you can allow your body to soften into the floor where it is. Close your eyes or gaze at one spot with the eyelids partially closed. Release all the tension from your face and the effort from the body. Find your long, slow, deep breath. At the end of your next exhalation, just preparing to move, maybe encouraging a little lift with the belly muscles, allowing the right arm to become light so it comes easily over the body and you end up with the hands stacked one on top of the other. And from here again, we're going to roll into that constructive rest, lying on the back with the feet on the floor, knees bent, arms relaxed away from the body. Feel your body arrive in that more neutral shape and feel the effect of your practice. If you wish to, you can gently roll your head from side to side, nice and slow. There's nothing quick about our movements in yin. We have time for one more practice before we come to relaxation. And so coming to an upright position when you're ready. It is possible to do this practice with a bolster, but it is quite intense. So the best way to do this practice is with a rolled blanket. So if you have your blanket to hand, which I know you all do, then just taking a moment to roll it into a little sausage. So you want the sausage to be slightly wider than your body in terms of its width, but it doesn't need to be particularly buoyant or high. That's entirely up to you. So if this is the first time you are doing this for a little while, and you might like to just have a slightly lower roll, if that makes sense. I know we said we'd use blocks at the beginning of the class, but we haven't, and we're not going to, unless you particularly want to here. So for this practice with our rolled blanket, we're going to have the blanket around about the middle of the back. So as we lie down over it, you might want your knees bent and your feet on the floor. We want the back of the head to rest to the floor so that the rib cage is supported. And then we're going to use cactus arms to take the backs of the hands to the floor as well. So if this feels a little bit too intense, you can keep your arms down. But if you're able to, keeping the cactus arm shape is fine. And it might take you a few goes to just get the bolster, the rolled blanket rather, into the right position. And anyone who really wants to try it over a bolster can, but as I say, it is quite intense over the bolster. If you don't have a rolled blanket to hand, but you've got your bolster and a block, you can do the yin version of fish, where you recline against the length of the bolster along the length of the spine. For those who are in position here, the back of the head and the back of the arms is feeling nice and comfy, then you might like to explore extending your legs so that your legs are long along the mat. And if that feels like it makes the back bending part of the pose a little bit too intense, just bringing the feet back in towards the buttocks and bending the knees. So either of these positions of the legs is absolutely fine. Once you've arrived in your position, allowing the back of the body to be really heavy, maybe noticing the space that you feel underneath the arms, between the arms and the rib cage, where the arms meet the torso. Maybe you can sense some space across the chest, the space under the rib cage where the diaphragm is. If your legs are long, you might have that sense of space where the legs join the pelvis or across the bottom of the abdomen. Also a sense of space in the palms of the hands. Wherever you are, softening all of your effort, relaxing your face, finding your long, slow breath. Tuning into that long, slow breath. At the end of your next exhalation, just preparing to move. Begin by bringing your feet back towards your body if the legs are extended. Bringing the arms towards each other across the body and down away from the head. You might like to gently roll to one side, remove the bolster or the rolled blanket, and then roll back onto your back into constructive rest and just feel the effect of your posture. This is our last yin posture, so we're moving from this into relaxation, putting on any extra layers you don't already have on, socks, blankets, etc., whenever you're ready. Wonderful stuff. So today for relaxation, I'm going to sit upright so that I can talk you through a yoga nidra today. So making yourself comfortable, making yourself cozy, and with our yoga nidra today will just be a single body scan, but with an intention. So thinking about what your intention might be. The intentions tend to be I am statements. So I am calm, I am patient, I am loved, I am enough. If you have a different one that you would choose rather than any of these, but a single statement rather than the four I've just said, a single statement that we're going to use throughout the practice. So begin by settling yourself into your relaxation pose of choice, closing your eyes, maybe gently rolling the head from one side to the other. Maybe today, if your hands feel cold, you might bend your elbows and place your hands onto your abdomen. If you're happy with them, palms open, you can do that. Allow the whole body to settle into the mat. And we're going to take a few deep breaths to start. So a deep breath in, sighing out as you surrender all of the effort of your practice. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, just begin to relax your muscles a little deeper. Deep breath in, and as you gently exhale, surrendering down into the floor and any supports that you're using today. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften, the area around the eyes relaxing, your mouth, tongue, and jaw releasing. Allow the whole body to be heavy, warm, comfortable, and letting go down into the floor. When you're ready, you can bring to mind your positive affirmation, your positive statement, and repeat it to yourself with intention. I am. Repeat 3 times. I am. I am. Through the body scan, allow your awareness to rest into each part of the body, allowing that part of the body to feel softened, allowing your awareness to give it a sense of shape in space and time. Draw your awareness to your right hand, your right hand thumb, the tip of the thumb, the first finger, the tip of the finger, the middle finger, the tip of the middle finger, the ring finger, the tip of the ring finger, the little finger, the tip of the little finger, the back of your hand, palm of your hand, your right hand, your right wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, underarm, the right side, right waist, right hip, right thigh, top of the knee, back of the knee, calf, shin, the right ankle, the heel of the foot, the top of the foot, the sole of the foot, the right big toe, tip of the toe, the second toe, tip of the second toe, the third toe, tip of the third toe, the fourth toe, tip of the fourth toe, the fifth toe, tip of the fifth toe of the right foot. Now draw your awareness to your left hand, your left hand thumb, tip of the thumb, the left first finger, tip of the first finger, the middle finger, tip of the middle finger, the ring finger, tip of the ring finger, the little finger, the tip of the little finger, the back of your hand, palm of your hand, your left hand, the left wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, underarm, the left side, left waist, left hip, left thigh, top of the knee, back of the knee, calf, shin, the left ankle, the heel of your foot, top of your foot, the sole of your foot, the left big toe, tip of the big toe, the second toe, tip of the second toe, the third toe, tip of the third toe, the fourth toe, tip of the fourth toe, the fifth toe, tip of the fifth toe of the left foot. Now draw your awareness to the whole of the right arm, the whole of the left arm and both arms together. The whole of the right leg. The whole of the left leg. And both legs together. The right buttock. The left buttock. The right shoulder blade. The left shoulder blade. The whole of the back. The whole length of the spine. The back of the head. Top of the head. Both sides of your head. Your forehead. The right temple. The left temple. The right eyebrow. The left eyebrow. The space between the eyebrows. Your upper eyelids. Lower eyelids. The touch point of the eyelids. The length of your nose. Tip of your nose. The upper lip. The lower lip. The touch point of the lips. The tongue. The jaw. The chin. The throat. The right collarbones. Left collarbones. Right side of the chest. Left side of the chest. The center of the chest. The diaphragm. The abdomen. The right groin. The left groin. Now bring your awareness to the whole body together. The whole body together. The whole body soft, relaxed, resting your awareness in the whole body together. Now draw into your mind your positive statement, your affirmation, and repeat it in your mind with intention 3 times. I am. I am. I am. Rest in peaceful stillness for the remainder of relaxation. Gently draw your awareness back into your body and feel your body as a solid body lying on the floor. Become aware of your hands and your feet, moving your fingers and toes, maybe rolling the wrists and the ankles to get some movement back into the body. Feel that you're coming back into your body more as you take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe stretching the face of the yawn. Maybe stretching one side and then the other. Maybe lengthening from center into your limbs. Maybe drawing yourself into a little ball, making any movements that feel good with your body. You can hold your knees and take the knees one way and the head the opposite way. Or make any movements that feel good with the spine. When you feel ready, curling up on one side and just taking a moment to come round a little at a time. Sometimes following Yoga Nidra, we have a deep sense of stillness and peace. Try to contain that sense of peace as you bring yourself into any comfortable upright position. But if it feels better to stay on the floor, stay on the floor. If you're in an upright position, resting your hands over your chest. Just taking a moment to feel the intention that you made settle a little deeper into the body and the mind. We finish Yoga Nidra with a simple mantra, Hari Om Tat Sat. So if you are familiar with it, you can repeat it. I'll say it two more times so that you can repeat it if you'd like to. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. It means make it so. And then taking your chin towards your chest, a little gentle smile in your own time, raising your head, opening your eyes, releasing your hands down. Thank you so much for joining in this practice. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time. Namaste.